Welcome to the Smart Influencer podcast. If you're tired of chasing algorithms, second guessing your strategy, or feeling like you're doing all the things without seeing the growth you want, you're in the right place.
We're your hosts. I'm Christina,
And I'm Corinne.
and we're bloggers, business owners, systems nerds, and founders of the Smart Influencer. Between the two of us, we've built multiple six-figure brands, launched digital products, hosted live events, and coached creators who are ready to level up.
Each week, we break down what's actually working in today's creator economy, from monetization and list growth to systems, automation, and building a business that doesn't own you. Because this isn't about hustling harder.
It's about building smarter. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Smart Influencer podcast. Today, Corinne and I are talking about something that's probably sitting in your business right now, fully formed, just waiting for you to package it up and sell it. And most of you are probably sleeping on it.
I am excited about this because I feel like one of the biggest problems we run into when people are talking about revenue diversification is people are like, but I don't have products. I don't know what products to make. So this one's for you.
Yeah. Or I don't have time to do it.
Right. I don't
Secret,
have time to
it's
do it.
done.
I don't want to learn how to do it. I don't have a big enough audience.
Yeah.
Like, we're going
It's
to
done.
address all of those.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first thing we should probably start with here is your mindset, right? Let's get into the right frame of mind, because two of the biggest myths I think that keeps bloggers from building digital products are, one, that you need a huge audience or a huge list before you can do it. And number two is you might be thinking it's going to take months to build something worth selling. It's kind of like I always liken it to cleaning out the junk drawer, right? In my head,
Right.
this is an all-day affair, but in reality, it took me 10 minutes. I could do it
Right.
while the microwave is running. But
So
we just build it up to be bigger.
I want to hit the one about the audience size first because I feel like so it is true, right? Like you need numbers to track conversions, right? Like until you have 100 people view the page, you don't know whether the page is actually working. Like, and this is one of the problems. Like if you do have a smaller audience and there aren't as many people visiting the site, this is where they throw in the towel very early because they'll put it up for a week or so, and they're like, well, I didn't have anyone buy. Well, if only 20 people saw the sales page, you didn't even necessarily have bad conversions. You just didn't have the numbers. But it's not true that you need to have thousands of people seeing it in order to sell. And honestly, it's easier to set it up early when not as many people will sell it. Or like if you've got any type of anxiety about like how it's going to be perceived, I'd rather have fewer people see it, right? But the sooner that you can start collecting the data, the better. And who cares if it takes you 6 months or a year to get enough data to track conversion ratios? That's still data. That's powerful. And you still like, you make it once and you keep making money from it. So I feel like audience size is really insignificant unless you're a super data geek and you want to see it fast. And then you just have to work on,
Yeah, you
I'm just
might
going to
just
raise my hand. You just got to work on patience.
yeah. And you just sometimes we're not looking at our whole audience, right? You might just be thinking, I'm doing a tripwire, or I'm just going to send it out to my small email list. Well, you're forgetting social media, you're forgetting your web traffic. All of that is part of your audience, right? So if you're getting, 50,000 page views a month, that's 50,000 chances for somebody to see that page. So make sure that you're setting that up as a tripwire. So we're going to talk about all of that, but we want to make sure that your mind is in the right place. So don't tune us out yet if you're like, my audience is too small, or, you're
Right.
thinking all those things, or I don't have time to build this. It's
And
probably
then let's talk about, so regarding mindset, the time myth, right? Like
yeah,
that you need to spend months and months creating it or even weeks and weeks. That's actually, to me, like that would be the opposite advice I'd give you because you want to test small.
right.
Because until you have data on what your audience wants and will spend money on, because what they will spend money on is different than what they're going to tell you in a survey that they want. It just is, right?
And
Like
very
people,
different from what
it's
you
very
think
different.
and from what you
So
think.
you want to test that with small effort. You don't want to put weeks and weeks or months and months in and then find out you were off the mark. You can start tweaking that journey with a $5 product that took you a couple minutes to throw together. Or like find out what they're interested in, what products are they buying versus not when it's very low lift. And then as you get to where you want to build a bigger product, you want to have a higher cart value, right? Then you put in more time and you feel more confident about the time that you're putting in. So it's actually the opposite. You don't want to start doing products with a ton, with something that's a huge time and effort investment. Like
Right.
that's not a wise use of your time and energy.
Yeah. Go for the quick win, learn from that one, and then you can start building from there.
Yeah.
But I also want to bring up a point too. You mentioned like what your audience tells you and what they really want are sometimes two different things. What you think they want and what they really want are more often than not two very different things.
Right.
So I always say you have to take yourself out of this equation and you have to look at what the data is telling you. So testing small and getting that data and watching that is going to be so much more helpful than building something you think they want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, all right, let's talk about um, like the different types of products that can work for bloggers.
Okay. Yes. Like what to build. So
Yeah.
all right, there are a lot, right? Like, so if you, I think people tend to, when you say digital product, picture, and maybe it's just me, but when I have conversations with people, it sounds like it's either PDF or it's course.
Right.
Right? Like that's how they define digital products. And I don't know why we have such a narrow view. So we're going to brainstorm a couple other ideas with you guys just so again, this is anything we can deliver digitally. Like that's really the only
Yeah.
interpretation of it, right? Like so something we're charging for because we're already doing a lot of stuff
Yeah.
digitally, right? Like everything we create is on the internet. So it's putting a paywall between what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yep. I'll never forget. So one of the great things you can do is templates, right? Or planners or things like that. I I was getting a massage one day. This was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago,
Keep it
and
rated G here, Christina.
I know I'm getting a massage, and we're just chit-chatting because Lord knows I can't just close my eyes and relax and enjoy it for what it is. We've got to solve all the problems of the world. But it was right before the holidays, and I was telling the massage therapist, like kind of saying, "Oh, I'm a big nerd. I have my Thanksgiving binder. I pull it out. It tells me what I'm doing every day and has all my recipes." She's like, "You have something like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Can I have it?" She's like, "I'll pay you for it." And I'm like, somebody would actually pay me for this? For
Mhm.
my timeline of, on Monday I do this, on Tuesday I do that, on Wednesday, it set off this like light bulb in my head. So I went home, and it was right before the holiday. I went home and I quickly packaged it up real quick, created some PDFs, and boom, I sold a bunch of them
Mhm.
right then and there. And it was like already done. It was just sitting in a binder in my kitchen that my
Right.
family made fun of me for when I
Well,
whipped
all
out.
of my first printables were that not a full planner, but they were like I'd have like my medicine cabinet checklist and my spice
Yeah,
cabinet. I love checklists. So like I
yeah,
have checklists for everything. I've got like a supply like for all our household cleaning stuff, right? Like so I just had a supply checklist. So all of my early they weren't like they're still there. So many of them I have not updated. Like you go look, they're almost embarrassing from a design perspective,
yeah.
but like they were like those I used as opt-ins, but people will pay to not have to, right? Like we're all
Think.
tired. It hurts. Like it
Yeah.
hurts, and most people don't have any type of design skill. So yes, to template or to give what you know, and if you're giving it for free in a blog post, right? Like let's say it's content you've already created, and I'm a big fan of that, repurposing the content you've already created, just repackaging that in a way that someone can access it in a new way.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so, like, that's what most of us think of, right? Like a PDF, like maybe taking your recipes and putting it into an ebook. But think beyond that because you could do a video series and it doesn't, again, have to be all of the, like, I'm going to go to food bloggers. It doesn't have to be cooking it, right? Like it could be talking about them and presenting it with the link to
Yeah.
the recipe. You could do I had a friend that did affirmations. She did self-care for moms. So she just recorded like in her free time. She would just record affirmations and she'd sell those to her audience. Or like you could buy bundles of like the morning affirmations or whatever, if that's your thing. So think about all the different ways you can deliver it and just repackage what you have.
And listen to the people around you, not necessarily all your readers. I mean, this just came in a one-off conversation with my massage therapist.
Right.
And how many other times do you have that conversation throughout your day with random people. It's you have to be willing to listen and to pick up what they're dropping and turn it into something.
And I think sometimes if we take ourselves back to year one of blogging, right? Like I think a lot of us did this. When you started creating content and you were like, what am I going to create that's going to be interesting or helpful to someone else? Like before we knew about SEO and before we were trying to go viral on social, we're like, that's how I started. That was the content I created. It was the content I wanted to see. If you've created it, you've already put time in that will save someone else time. So just think about how you can deliver that piece of content that already lives there in another way that might be more convenient for someone to consume, so they're willing to pay a little extra for it. So
Yeah.
yes, that can be a PDF, but
Yeah.
it could take other formats.
Right. It could be a spreadsheet. It could just be just something simple. I have the saying on my right here on my computer, it's on my desktop. It's, done is better than perfect because perfect never gets done. I think I need to switch it out and like have it rotate to we are not selling things, we're solving problems. So if
Right.
you can think about a problem that your audience might have and how you can easily solve it, I mean, that's an E. I mean, we have so much knowledge up here that not everybody, and you're always saying that to me, Corinne, because I have, imposter syndrome really bad. But it's like people want to be able to get inside your head and just poke around and, pick out the little nuggets that they want. So just
Which
putting,
is another option for a product type. You could
yeah,
sell access to, whether it's like
yeah,
using Voxer or it's WhatsApp or all the different things people, Marco Polo, which I know Christina has a hate relationship with. But there are lots of different ways that we can communicate with our audience, either asynchronously or on a live Zoom. Or
yeah.
like maybe you sell access to your thought process where you're sharing your systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay. So we talked about templates, right? Done for you frameworks that can help the buyer. Guides, PDFs, planners, things like that are great for that. And they don't have to be perfect right out of the gate. Remember, done is better than perfect. Just get one out. I launched that Thanksgiving one. It was like a week and a half before Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
and I sold them, but then it's like, ooh,
You were well positioned for the following
right.
year.
And the year two's planner looks nothing like that first one that I did. I fluffed it
Right.
out. But
Because you got it
then,
better. Yeah.
yeah, but then I'm looking at, I'm like, I could do the same thing for Christmas,
Hmm.
right? Because we're in the same frame of mind. And we talked in a previous episode about bundling things together. This is a bundle. If you're in there for Thanksgiving, I can bundle it with Christmas and then maybe throw in some Christmas cookies or, things like that.
Right.
It makes a natural bundle. So think like that, like really get into that mindset. Corinne mentioned courses. Like you could do a mini course with recorded videos or audio lessons. I think the big thing right now too is private podcasts.
Private podcasts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And let me tell you how easy it is to record a podcast. You don't need anything fancy. You really don't. You can do it. I promise
Yeah.
you with probably what you have right now on your desk.
Well, and social media, which I'm terrible at, so like do as I say, not as I do on this one. But I love the idea of a short video series, like video lessons, and you can drip one or two out on social to pull in your audience, give it for free, but then the rest of it's gated, and there's
Yeah.
a pay gate in order to access the rest of the course.
Yeah. And for you Airtable junkies out there, because I know there are some of you out there, you said so at the summit. Um, Corinne came up with this brilliant idea a few years ago where she took all of her free products, put them in a vault, and gave that away to her readers, right? Her subscribers. And you might be thinking, "Oh, that's great. She's giving stuff away." But let me tell you, there's an upside to that because every single one of those subscribers who is using her vault is using her affiliate link to create an Airtable account.
And it's free for them. None of them have a paid account. All right,
No.
as far as I know, they don't have a paid account, but Airtable, and they're still doing it, $10 in credit. So they don't
Yeah.
give me $10 cash, $10 in Airtable credit. This is why I do so much in Airtable. I will never pay for it. I've got
Yeah.
literally tens of thousands of dollars in credits from people signing up to access that base.
And I've done the same thing. It works. And if that's something you think you want to do, if you're an Airtable user and you want to get that credit so you can upgrade yourself to the pro plan, it might be worth booking a one-on-one with us to figure out exactly the process for doing that.
Yeah. And we'll share our templates. I've got a
Yeah,
recipe box I do that way. I've got a habit
yeah,
tracker, like several things I used
yeah.
to get those credits.
So we encourage encouraging you to think outside the box, right? That's not making you money in one way, but it is saving you on an expense in another area. So,
So another interesting one I just recently saw, like someone I'm putting together a bundle for my Wonder Mom audience for this summer. And so I had people applying to submit their products. And she had submitted it was a toolkit. It was a list of products that she recommends. She's got a very specialized niche in the parenting niche. So she's got a very specific sub niche. And so she had like this list of very highly curated products that she recommends that have been tested by her, right? Like that, this is what she recommends for use with your child that has, special needs. And so this was her product. Like she wasn't selling anything herself. Like she wasn't giving you, but this guide of what she knew as an expert in this area would be the tools you wanted. So it was all her affiliate links,
hmm
but she charges people $9 to access this list. Like I don't know that I could do, like, truth being told, I don't know that I could do it because I just put it on the site and do affiliate links. But people are doing this. She is selling it, right? Like, so if you have, I'm thinking our high authority people, right? Like, if you have some sort of credential that really makes you an expert, especially if you've got an underserved niche like this,
right.
like, I feel like that is something, right? Like, and you're making money on the back end with affiliate links as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so we just want you to think the best digital product isn't necessarily the fanciest, the shiniest, the prettiest one. It's really the most useful one for where your audience is right now in their journey,
Right.
right? That is the best product you can offer. And I'm going to guarantee you, you are sitting on that information right now and you are not maximizing it. I know I am. I know
Right.
Corinne is. We all are. We
I
all
agree.
have stuff that lives inside of our brains that we have not figured out a way to make a product for. And it's probably pretty simple.
So yeah, let's help get you there. Like we're all about the doing, right? Like
Yeah.
let's do it. So like, how are you going to find your product idea? Like, we're not leaving you now. Like we're going to talk you through this. We promise we're going to help you build
Yep.
it by the end of this episode, right? Like you'll know exactly what to do. So how are you going to find your product idea? Like Christina said, it's right there. Like it probably is right there. So look at the emails you get, look at the comments on your posts, look at social media. What are your most asked questions? Like they are telling you what it is that they want, they need. You've probably answered it, so you've already probably
Oh,
semi-built the
yeah.
product. Look at your highest traffic content. This is an obvious one, and we always say this, right? Like, so what is it people are coming to you for? What content is that? And the thing that, and this one is like dig around a little, and you might need your friends to help you with this. Like I always do. This isn't innate to me, but the things that people are always like, oh, thank you for explaining that. That Christina, I'm going to look at you because of the summit, right? Like sometimes you aren't aware of where your genius is because it doesn't feel like genius to you. It's so obvious.
hmm
So go to your friends so they can tell you, oh, yeah, like that thing that's super easy for you to do, I can't do it. So,
Yeah.
what are those things that people have said that to you? Like, and you were like, really? Because that's so easy. That's your product. And what's beautiful about that is it's easy now for you to build
Yeah.
because it is easy for you. But sometimes we don't see that. We don't see that it's hard for other people because it's not hard for us.
I mean, these are things that can come out of a conversation. Like, I got some great ideas from my mom's group. We go out to dinner once a month, whatever. And just sitting there talking, I was able to pick their brains and get ideas with what they're struggling with because
Right.
they are who I think my target audience is. But they gave me some great ideas and maybe in a way that I would not have approached it otherwise because sometimes we think in one direction that we can't see the forest through the trees, but looking at that kind of stuff and asking people around you and just paying attention to those conversations. Like I was at the dentist and the hygienist was asking me questions and I'm like, I could probably turn that into some kind of digital product too because she was telling me how she was struggling with that.
Right.
So paying attention, I think, all around you and making note of those things because you have the answers, you have the solutions, and it's probably not hard to create the product.
So to recap, like when you're like, where am I getting this idea from? It's one of four places, right? It's going to be from your audience, right? Inbox, the messages, comments, all of that. It's going to be your analytics. That one is, I think, I hope, pretty obvious. your own processes, right? Like, what is it that you're doing that other people are struggling with? And then what Christina said, like, just your social interactions.
Hmm.
Like, what is it? Like, because sometimes three isn't obvious to us, our own processes. Like, you should know, right? Like, if you know you've got a great meal planning system, right? Like, oh, everybody else complains about meal planning, but I spend 5 minutes a week on this. Is like, I love meal planning,
Yeah.
right? Like, that might be your thing. Whatever system you're using for that might be at someone else's, you know, gold mine.
Right.
So those things, but if you don't have that innately, you don't know that about yourself, I think that, yeah, the social listening in your personal
Yeah.
circle,
Not social media,
not
but
social media.
like actually in person, in
Yes.
IRL.
Those real people. Yes. That's another great source.
Yeah.
So that's where I'd spend my time figuring it out instead of doing in-depth market research. Like that'll come later, or it can come now if you want to, if that comes easy to you.
Yeah.
Actually, I am going to throw that out. You know, what's really good at that perplexity. I think I've said it multiple times.
Hmm.
Just have it, if you know your avatar, go to Perplexity and say, like, scan all of wherever it is you believe your people hang out, whether it's Reddit or YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, tell it to go scan those public threads and find their pain points.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're solving a problem. You're
Yeah.
not selling things, you're solving a problem. And you don't have to invent something new. You just have to package what you already know. I want you to remember that.
Yes, that.
Yeah. All right. So, does everybody have an idea of what you think you can package up?
I
Like, write
hope
it down,
so.
make a commitment to yourself to do this weekend, because you
Yes,
can do it in a weekend. We promise you. Done is better than perfect because perfect never gets done.
that's right.
Okay.
And we want you to get stuff done.
Yep. So, and that's what you need. You don't need the perfect product. You just need something that's done. So, here's what we would recommend doing. If we're going to do this in a weekend, I think
Yep.
my brain always goes to systems. So, I have to organize it that way in my brain. So, the first thing I would do is Friday night, I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to like brainstorm everything out. I'm going to plan it. I'm going to think about what that topic is that I want to do. Decide on the format. Is it going to be a PDF? Is it going to be a video, a template? An Airtable, whatever it is, right? Outline that content. Don't overthink it. You're not writing all the copy or whatever. You're just getting those big ideas down for the outline of that product.
And a key piece here, and this is one we've trained ourselves into the system, the transformation. Like
Yes.
at the as early as possible, like as soon as you have the idea, envision what the transformation is for your customer. What is the outcome you hope that they're going to get?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to drive everything else later. Like it is way too easy for us to be in our head and, oh, we could add this cool feature and that cool feature. If you stay focused on where it is you're trying to take your customer, it'll help you say no to some of the things where
Right.
you're going to overwork.
And I think this is a great use for AI too. It can help keep you on track and give you some ideas in directions you may not have thought of,
Yeah, I agree.
right? So, okay, so Friday night is all about just mapping it all out, getting your thought process together, sleep on it overnight, let those ideas, I don't know, things percolate when I sleep, I think.
Right.
You wake
I'll
up.
say that, and two, just so you guys kind of know how much time we're looking at, this should probably take you, like, I would say this probably takes me, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
If you're new to this process, maybe as much as 2 hours, but
right,
no more than that.
right. We're just outlining what the thing could be.
Right.
Like I said, we're not writing everything out. Just get
Right.
those big ideas down. Going back to like high school when you had learned how to outline.
Exactly.
Right? So then you move into Saturday. Now you're actually going to start building it. So think about like you've already mapped out how you envision this, what format it's going to be delivered in. Now start building it, right? Creating the core content. Whether if you're using Canva, use that. You can purchase templates, right?
Right.
So easy. There's so many places where you can, if design is not your thing, go purchase a template that you can use and customize. It's so much easier to start with that than to start from the white page. Canva even has tons of templates you can
They
start
do.
with, so you don't have the white page.
I
But
will say here, if like this is one of the wonderful things about this is why you can easily do it in, if not even a weekend. I think like I do all my product creation in, I aim for 4 hours and it almost always takes me six. Like if I'm being building a brand new one from scratch. So this process is sped up so much with AI.
yeah,
You're not having AI build the product necessarily. I'm a big fan of the ask me questions so that we can build it together. So just prompt it that way. This is feed it the outline, Feed it the outline, feed it the outcome, feed it like if you attended the summit, you know the master business brief, give it that so it knows what your goals are and who you're serving. But give it as much information as you can and say, I want to build this product. Please, like, let's develop it section by section. Ask me questions so that we can fine tune it because then your voice will be in it.
Yeah.
And it will put that together so quickly, much faster than if you start with a blank slate and you're just trying to like come up with all the right wording and get all the structure right out the gate.
And this is probably the hardest part for me here is you don't want to add more sections at this point, right? Because like I start going, I'm like, oh, this would be great, or oh, that would be great. And then all of a sudden this 3 hour project turns into a 3 day project.
We are both very bad about
Right.
that.
We just love to deliver value. But right now, at this point on Saturday, you are just creating what you initially mapped out.
And I will say, so one of the things that's helped me with this, because we are notorious for doing this, like, oh, but we could add this, this would make it better. This would make me want to buy it.
Yeah.
Like, if you have those things, what I've started to do is I start a separate doc and I'm putting that, and that now becomes your bump offer or your upsell.
Yeah.
So before you overbuild something, before you've tested your market to see that they even want it, just give them, people like simple too. Like I keep trying to remind myself of that.
Mhm.
People get overwhelmed very easily, and one of the things we should be doing in people's lives is helping simplify.
Right.
So don't give it to them all at once. You're actually doing them a favor, and then it gives you something somewhere to take them to later.
Yeah. And it could be one of those things too that if you're realizing this isn't selling and maybe you do need to add more value, you've already got this base of
Right,
value here that you can pull from and start adding to that. So this Saturday process should only take you a couple of hours, right?
right,
Depending on how skilled you are in those things, should not take long at all. Start with a template somewhere. You can go to Creative Market, Canva. There's a ton of Facebook groups where you can buy things like that, where they're already not done completely for you, but you have the base of it started.
right.
So then moving into Sunday, now we're just going to get this thing ready to sell, right?
Hmm.
We've got it designed. We've just got to get it ready to sell. So coming up with a product description, how you're going to deliver it, and then maybe create a piece or two of promotional content. Is that going in your email? Is it going on social? How are you going to promote that you actually have this product? Because it does you no good if you're
Right,
not promoting it.
right.
So,
So, for the purpose though of getting it done in a weekend and getting it out there, right now we're not talking about building it because the sales page, and this is why we're excluding it intentionally, the sales page will slow you down.
yeah,
I will say there are so many times I have blazed through building a product and it sits on my desktop for weeks because I don't want to do this. I hate doing sales
yeah,
pages. Even though I've got a system for it now, I use AI to help me. Like, I hate building sales pages.
yeah.
So we're taking that out of this equation because the
Yep.
point is to get it launched, like, right,
Done is
to
better than
just to
perfect.
get it out. So whether if you've got a strong social presence, if you like love email and that's where you connect with your audience, like that's where I would do it. But wherever, one thing, push it out. We're not even doing a sales page. You're going to do the selling in whatever that is, the social media posts, the email, and send them right to checkout.
Right.
And then you'll get a conversion, and then you'll want to do the next steps.
Yeah.
So,
So this is bare bones. We're getting it out in a weekend
yeah,
just so we can have some proof that this actually works. So we're skipping that fancy sales page. We're also putting aside, and this one's hard for me, that perfectionism, right? It doesn't have to look perfect. So many times I find myself hemming and hawing over, the placement of a line or the thickness of a line or the color of a font or something like that. It is completely unnecessary.
she is not joking, folks. Is coming on the other side of the summit, the number of things, presentations we had to build, workbooks, the number of times we'd have to pause so that because the font wasn't just right or the colors hadn't
Yep.
alternated properly.
Yep.
Everything is pretty. I am grateful for it on the tail end. But yes, Christina is a
Yeah.
perfectionist.
So just putting that aside and just again, I say it again, done is better than perfect. And it is something I tell myself every single day.
Yeah.
Uh, the
And
other
then
thing,
testimonials. A
yeah,
lot of people think that if I haven't done it or if I haven't sold this particular thing, like most of my most of my money for most of the time that I've been in business, like in terms of product sales, didn't have testimonials. It was forever when I had my Shopify store before I got the Judge Me app that collects those reviews. So I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything in place to collect testimonials. So like I'd sometimes use some of them from Etsy because again, Etsy had it automated. So like they still sell. Like people on a tripwire, unless you're selling, and again, this is the beauty of starting small. Like if you're selling a $5 to $10 product, nobody cares about a test. I shouldn't say nobody cares, but there's not a big hesitation on that, right? Like they're not about to sign up for a membership or give you hundreds of dollars.
You're
If
not
you're
selling
selling a big
someone.
product, like a big course, testimonials become very important.
Yeah. It depends on the value, how much money
Right.
people are putting up. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can on a smaller product, you can skip that. You can also skip these big launch events, right? Like we're not gonna, Monday morning, you're not gonna come out the other side of this with this huge launch event that's like a 7-day email sequence. Like you don't have to do all of that. We are just testing the product. We are getting something out there. We can
So let's
learn.
be clear, because in case you think we're being hypocritical,
Yeah, we're not.
right? Like we're giving you contradictory advice. Like you won't make a lot of sales until you promote and until you launch properly. So, but who was it that we had on, Christina, that talked about breaking big tasks into small ones so you get the dopamine hits? That's
Yes.
what we're talking about here. And I'm sorry her name's not coming to me, but that's what we're talking about. You build it, you get it out the door, that's a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
That should be enough to fuel you to improve the sales page. And then that should be enough, like, then you make a couple more sales. That fuels you enough to actually do a launch, to put it in a couple more places, whatever. So
Yeah.
we're doing it piecemeal so that you get the feedback, you get that positive feedback loop. But if the goal is to build a product in a weekend, you can do that very easily if you just strip out some of those things and hold those for
Right.
later.
And remember, you can come back to this. You can do your formal launch later when you see that, okay, maybe the title didn't work and you just got to zhuzh that. Or maybe you do need to add a little more value. Or maybe you did add a bot. Like as you're gathering this initial data, you're making decisions about what you need to do going forward. And then once you have it a little more polished, then you can do the bigger launch. This is just I think we when we came up with this idea for this podcast episode, it's because so many of you is like, I can't do this. It's too
Right.
time consuming. It's too hard. We know you need a digital product. We want to make it approachable. And this is the approachable way to just get started.
Right.
Right.
And so I like examples. So let's give some examples. I know we both got a bunch. Like I want to convince you this isn't hard to do. It's my very first paid product. I think this is true. My very first paid product. I had I had these, and they're still one of my most popular printables. It's family budget worksheets. It's just three simple pages. I made them colorful because I like pretty. And so they were printable. That was the opt-in. You opted in, you got it for free. And then what I sold was the spreadsheet version of that so that you could edit it if you wanted for 99 cents.
Mhm.
Sold it for 99 cents. Like just proof of concept to see that it would sell. And now I tripwire that to a budget binder and it makes much more. But a 99-cent product, anybody can do that. And all I did was take the spreadsheet that I had turned into a PDF anyway, and I just made the spreadsheet available.
Mhm.
And that was 13 years ago. I think that was 2013 when I created it, or maybe 2014. So super simple. We are not, again, the smaller the better, friends. The
Mhm.
smaller the better. And people will buy. My first cookbook was all my Instant Pot recipes, just put in PDF form.
Yeah.
I think I used Beacon to create it, if anybody remembers that. Like it was an app that you could just, it was a plugin. You loaded it on your site and you just checked off the blog post that you wanted converted into it and it put it into a PDF.
Yeah. Easy enough. I've even done ones when I first started doing my recipe ebooks, I went into WP Recipe Maker, printed them as a PDF, and then just stitched them together in
Ah,
Canva. Right?
well, that's how I'm selling recipes on Etsy now.
Right? Already done.
Hmm.
Done for you. And I didn't do any of the work. I didn't type a blessed thing. They all
So
have
if you're
photos.
thinking that it is a lot of work, like please hear it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
People pay for convenience. People will pay to not have to build that spreadsheet by themselves, to not have to copy and paste your recipe in anywhere, right? Like they'll pay for that.
Yeah. And it's proof every single day when I get the emails for the sales being made.
Yeah.
So these are things like we want you to think about that. If you feel like you have no design skills, you have like you want to do this, but you have no ideas on what to do, Sherry Smothers and Short has the Printables and More Club where you can go in there and you can get them done for you, right? You might just think, okay, yeah, I want a meal planner. I want this. I want that. She has them and she does monthly drops of done for you printables that you can use.
Yeah.
And she's coming out with,
I'm a founding member in that club. I've been in it forever.
yeah,
That was how I started my membership. I started it by using I started it to cover my membership costs because it was $25 a month when I joined. So I'm like, okay, $5 a month. I'm just going to give people like the grab bag of items and like was easily making money off of that because you get, I think it's 15 printables and you get the Canva files so you can customize them and do
yeah.
whatever you want with them. Like that's what I do now. But yes, it is a great deal, particularly if you're not a designer by nature.
And she's got products coming out now for food bloggers. So if you're a food blogger
Mhm.
listening to this and you're like, but I don't, nothing applies to me. I'm not doing kids games or crossword puzzles or affirmations, then, she does have stuff for you too. So definitely go check that out. I put the link in the show notes for the
And lots of
episode.
cooking cheat sheets. She
Yeah.
does all kinds of planners. Like really, no matter what your niche in, she's got something in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So check that out.
okay, I want to talk about because I don't want to wrap just yet, like because there are some other issues that we hear where
Yeah.
people like pause, right? Like so if it's not the product creation, the next thing is platform. Right? Like how do I do it? Like that's tech I don't want to learn. That and pricing. How do I
Yeah.
price it? These kind of go hand in hand because they occur at the same time, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, pricing can be tough. And it's one of those things that you may have to A/B test. I've definitely, I know you've done it too. We've
Yeah.
tested. We've raised and lowered and tried different things, and
Yeah.
what works for Corinne doesn't necessarily work for me, and you can't rely on what other people are doing. You have to test it with your audience.
Right. And then like yeah, pricing is a hard one. You know, whenever we have someone on and there are numbers to be had, I'm always asking that question because I struggle with this too. I will say for like my biggest, I don't know if it's a regret now that I'm saying it out loud. I've always had low price products because for me, I like the endorphin rush of making the sale. So I didn't want to risk that something wouldn't sell if I put time into creating it. So I would price it low. So I knew it was like no way someone was going to say no to this. So
Hmm.
I tend to underprice absolutely everything. Now, after a full year of dedicating myself to getting up average order values and stuff, I will tell you the first thing I did was to increase prices because it's very hard to make money when you're collecting $1 at a time
Yeah.
or $2, right? Like, so I, so we're not going to tell you where you have to price it because that's a very personal decision.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, for me, my goal has been to get the average order value up to around $25. Like that for me makes a very nice, like second income, like relative, like I've replaced my ad revenue, not replaced, but I can equal ad revenue now at that price point at my traffic levels. So I don't know where you need to be, listener,
Hmm.
but lower prices should get better conversions. It also, and every other digital marketer will tell you this, it brings you high maintenance customers. It is so counterintuitive, but it is so true.
It
The
is.
people that will pay you a lot of money don't have time to bother you.
Yeah.
So if you value your time, that's one argument against having low price products because those are the deal seekers. Those are the people that will spend 800 hours extreme couponing, right? Like to save some money at the store. And no shame in that. Like I have so much respect for this, but they are the people that are going to blow up your email with question after question after question. So just something to keep price where you want. Just be aware of those things.
So I will say, I know in a previous episode I talked about my moonshine ebook, and when I first launched it, I launched it at a lower price than where it is now. And I did a TV segment to go along with it, and I sold a ton of them. Sounds great, but I was also leaving for a press trip the day after this segment went live. And I remember being on some remote farm in the middle of nowhere, and my phone was blowing up with emails with people asking questions about an ebook. Well, I want a hard copy. I want this. I want that. I learned some very important lessons, and folks, I'm going to share them with you right now. Just be very clear on the upfront what they get. And in no uncertain language, if you're doing a digital product, you make it very clear that a hard copy will not be mailed to them, regardless if you collect their address or not.
Right.
I have to collect,
Multiple times.
yes,
Like don't just say that once somewhere on the sales page and think
in
they got
small
it.
gray font at the bottom.
Yeah.
No, get in their face, make them check a box to accept it, that they understand the terms, that you are not mailing this. Like, I have to collect address information. I'm in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania residents, I have to collect sales tax on. Fine. That's why I get their address. So people think because they're giving me their address that I'm going to mail them something. So you just got to learn those lessons. So learn from me. I went through it. But another lesson I learned from that launch was, this is going to sound weird, but I sold too many too fast. It was too easy of a sale. So what did that tell me? I need to
Too
increase my
low.
price.
Hmm.
So it was just too easy. And I increased it $2 and I still kept selling them.
Yeah.
So I think back to those initial sales, and if I had just added $2 onto each of those additional sales, how much more
Right.
money I would have made. So it might sound counterintuitive, but if it was too easy of a sale, you're probably charging too little.
Right.
So it all comes down to buyer psychology there.
Yeah.
So
And
a couple,
sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like I've read a ton on buyer psychology. So my VIP vault, the price that I charged for it, and I tested probably 20 different prices and really tested it because it was my highest converter. My ideal price landed at 10.99, which makes no sense if you know buyer psychology. Like the zero is big and it makes it wide. It's like you want the number to look small, like 11.99 should have been better or just $11. I tested $11. That flopped. 9.99, I sold more at 10.99. Like it sometimes it doesn't make sense. You can read all that you want. Like so test it because if I'd have left it at 9.99, I'm making just like I sell just as many at 10.99. The data was very clear, but I make $1 more on every
yeah,
sale. So yeah, do play with the testing. So that's pricing. Platform. Like let's talk about this because this is the biggest headache for most people.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to alleviate that for 90% of you. If you don't have a store already, I'm not going to convince you to get one, especially if you're just starting out on products. You can 100% do this with a PayPal button
Yep, on your WordPress
on
site.
WordPress. Go in Gutenberg. You can have Claude now does great sales pages. Like we're
Yeah,
using it a lot for almost everything we do. Have Claude generate an HTML sales page for you. Sometimes you got to go back and forth because formatting's wonky when you copy and paste it in, and you were just putting it in a custom HTML block on your site.
yep,
That's all you have to do. You
easy
set up a
peasy.
PayPal button to do the transaction, and then you have to deliver the file. So you attach it like in Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever. So you have a URL to attach as the delivery file for PayPal.
I wouldn't do
That's
it
it.
as a PDF. I would not deliver it as an attached PDF to an email,
No.
just because there are email issues. Some email
Yeah.
service providers don't accept them. You just run into a hole. You're going to get those customer service emails. Trust me.
Mhm.
Ask me how I know.
But if you do want to, like, let's say you're committed to this, you really want to go and you don't want to mess with all of that, there are plenty of low cost options.
Yeah.
You've got Gumroad, PayHip is very popular now. I know a lot of people are using PayHip. Gary V, you guys know I'm a huge Gary, well, maybe you know, I'm a huge Gary V fan. He started Stan Store. Stan Store is excellent. We use Thrivecart, but Thrivecart's expensive. It's a one-time fee, but it's an expensive one-time fee. I will say I don't know a single person that has not made back what they paid on
Oh,
Thrivecart in the first 6 months. I will say that. But
before
they're
I switched,
committed. Like when you are investing several $100s into a tool, you're committed to selling. So if that's
yeah.
you, go ahead and get Thrivecart.
I before using Thrivecart, I used a service called Get DPD,
Oh yeah.
GD, and then D as in David, P as in Paul, D as in David, right? Digital product delivery. Get DPD, and it worked wonderfully. I loved it. I just needed a little more customization and a little
Right.
more features, which is why I eventually switched to Thrivecart. But for the longest time, that worked so well for me.
And I know some people use Sendel.
Mhm.
WooCommerce is another popular one. It works right on your site. It used to be very heavy, but I've heard that they've changed some
Yeah.
things so it doesn't slow down your site so much. And then most of the email providers are doing it now too.
Yeah.
Kit has it,
Oh,
Flowdesk
yeah.
has it. MailerLite, do they have a checkout
I
option?
think so.
So
In the newer MailerLite, the new MailerLite option. I'm still grandfathered in the old one.
So if you're already paying for a tool, I'd check there first. Like you don't need to, by all means, like like we get nickel and dimed left and right in
No.
our industry, right, with all the different tools we use. So if you were already using some sort of tool, I'd go look there first, see what's available before you start looking to add something to your tech stack.
Mhm. Yep. So you can do it on the fast, on the easy, on the cheap to get started. One thing I will point out, especially when it comes to pricing and then setting up your landing page and all that stuff, if you decide you want to test things, it is very important that you only test one thing at a time. Don't change the title and the price at the same time. Don't change the price and the sales page at the same time. One thing at a time, because otherwise you don't know if it's working. You don't know what worked. You don't know who.
I feel so personally attacked right now.
I not. This is something I teach in my classes with my students. I'm like, when you A/B test anything, it's one thing at a time.
People in my mastermind groups know I'm terrible at that. Like I 100% agree with the reasoning. I'm just really bad at following through. Like I get in, I'm like, "Oh, but look, like okay, so the price, maybe that was too high, but also like the wording on the sales page, it
Yeah.
could be better." So,
And
I've
we have a
never been
touch of
successful.
impatience.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. We
I
both
do. I have a problem. I
we
have a
both do.
big problem with
Oh yeah.
patience.
This is hard for me to not want to like when
Yeah.
I go in and change, I want to like do all the changes at I'm efficient like that.
So, yeah, do as we say, not as we do on this. If you want to do it smart, right? Like this is one area where we are fighting our personalities and our
Yeah.
personalities aren't super
And I
smart on
really
this.
have to tell myself one, Chris, just one thing at a time. One, slow your roll, make a note in your calendar to go back and, a couple weeks and check and do again. But no,
Okay.
we're all about data.
So we've built it, right? We've
Yep.
conceived it, we've built it, we've priced it, we've launched it,
Yep.
we've listed it, right? Okay, so we're not done yet, folks. Now what? And this is the part. Like we were
This is
so
the
bad
hard
at
part.
this. I think this is why we hammer on it so much. Like this is where people drop the ball. Like they're like, it's launched, it's out in the world, now on to the next thing.
Wait for the money to roll in.
Exactly.
Like dollar bills are going to be knocking at your door. Let me in, let me in. I think this is the hardest part because we're going to be honest. We are your honest, true best friends here. We're going to hold your hands as we say this, and we're going to say it while we're petting your shoulder in the nicest possible
Yeah.
way. It's going to be slow.
It is going to be slow,
It's
especially
gonna
if you do what we just told you to do, which is not to do all this stuff so you can get it out the
just getting
door.
it out the door. It is going to be slow, and that's okay. It is okay, right? So your first buyers are your most valuable asset. That person that stepped up and said, "Yes, I need this." Send them, get feedback from them. Send them a personal email. Be vulnerable. Say, "Hey, I just launched this product. I would love to know your true thoughts."
And something I wish I had done from the outset, like I'm just like it's not even stood up now. I am just standing it up now as we like this is just post summit. We're in spring of 2026. Like is to automate your testimonial like process. So I had it for my stores because they came thankfully with apps that do that. But this can be a simple email automation,
Yeah.
right? Like just to as soon as they make a purchase, like a week later, follow up. Oh, I hope that is working out for you. If if it's not, please let me know what's wrong. If it is, please consider, leaving me a reviewer or have a form that they fill in and they
Yeah.
leave you a review and a testimonial. And then this is something else I didn't know until recently. Have some sort of checkbox or something that says, I agree to let my name be used in a,
Yeah.
conjunction with this testimonial so that, you've got all the right things. But
Yeah, you can.
automate that early.
And many email service providers have a survey feature built in. I know MailerLite does. I believe Kit does. I
Hmm.
think Flowdesk does. I haven't played around enough with that one. But I think they have, survey things built in. Here's my advice on that. Do not go deep on the survey. We are not asking a 10-question survey. We are asking maybe 3 questions. Quick, simple, but get the important information out of them. We don't, at this point, I don't think we care about the age, male or female. We want to know, did they like it? What did they like? What would they have expected? That's what I want
Actually,
to
I
know.
don't think Kit had, just so
Oh,
we
they
don't give
don't.
misinformation. They have a poll. You can ask
Oh, okay.
like a question where like it gives you a poll result. Honestly, for like what we're talking about here, I'd rather send them to an Airtable or a Google
Yeah,
form.
you can totally do it in Airtable or a Google form. But if you just wanted to stay in your thing, I know MailerLite definitely has one. So if you're using that, you can use that feature. I've used that in the past so that you don't have to embed anything. It's just right there. They never have to leave the email. Um, but keep it simple, real simple. You just want to get out the information that can help you make the product better. That's what you
And
care about.
this is what I hope like this is what I hope you'll take from this. Like if you were just starting in products and this is the podcast that you listen to or you followed these instructions to get the first one out the door, view this first one as data collection. Like this is not, and this is again, you're talking to the person that underpriced everything because I needed that dopamine hit and I needed to make sure like, oh, I'm worthy, right? Like of taking people's money. This isn't your worth. Right? Whatever comes back in dollars did not define your worth. Like this is it's like a homework assignment where you're learning something. So view this, getting your first product out the door, as a way to learn and to collect some data. It's going to tell you a little bit about your audience, no matter what happens with it. If it flops, you actually get a little bit more information there. Okay, well, I thought this was what they needed. I'm misreading something.
Yep. And you're learning the process, which I think is equally as important. You're learning, I will also say, this is coming from the systems person in me. Document your process as you're doing it. Write down a list of how, like, in what order you did these things. So the next time you do it, your SOP is done. Document that stuff so you can go back and do it again. Because what this should have shown you is that there is opportunity there and you need to do it again. And it's okay if this PDF that you created now, didn't go off great. It didn't look the best. It doesn't reflect who you are, because once you update it and really start to perfect it, now you can relaunch it as new and improved.
Right.
You know,
Right.
people do that all
Or
the
float
time.
it for free. I do this sometimes with some of my
Yeah.
older stuff. I'll update it, I'll send it out to everyone that's bought it. Like, hey, I've updated this. I want you to have it. It brings them back if they haven't been in a while, and then they look at other things that you've got available
Yeah.
because it's far easier to sell to people who have already given you
Oh,
money.
yeah. 100%. 100%. So
Yeah.
don't overthink it. That is the big lesson here. And this is coming from two overthinkers.
Yeah.
Do not overthink any any part of this. The goal is to just do it. We've shown you how you can do it in a weekend. We know you can do it. If you haven't created something, we know you can do it. It's really, we are not just blowing smoke. This
And
is,
think outside the box. Like I
yeah,
really I love when people in our industry do it, and I think it's a hard muscle for some of us, even
yeah,
even though we consider ourselves creatives. Like we love a good formula, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes, like the best sales are going to come out of the things that because it's new, nobody else is doing. So, like develop an app if you like. We've got lots of tools now that help us do this. Develop an app, do an audio file, do a video series. Like do something different than whatever it is you're thinking a digital product looks like because you didn't want to make the digital product before. What do you like doing? If you love to do reels, make it video.
yeah.
Like there's no wrong answer here. Like you make what you want. And I want to circle back. I'm jumping back just a second when you were talking about SOPs. For my AI friendly people that are using AI to help them through this process, I now it is part of my routine. Anytime I do a task with Claude or ChatGPT or Perplexity, I ask it to write the SOP based on whatever it is we just did. And it
Yep.
gives me a very pretty little PDF or a Google Drive doc that I store in my Wonder Mom folder, SOPs.
So there is there's some good nuggets in here, guys. We
I
know you
hope
can do
so.
it. We're your cheerleaders. We're cheering you on. So definitely share with us on social if you decided to take the leap and create something. And we hope you do, because that was the whole goal of this, is to tell you you're sleeping on it,
Yeah.
right? You're sleeping on that knowledge. Go create it. Be the pattern interrupter, right? If everybody's doing meal plans, go in a different
Yes.
direction. It's okay. Like sometimes that gets more attention when you're the pattern
And
interrupter.
then come on the podcast as a guest and
Oh,
brag
yeah.
about it. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. So, and yeah, any zone of genius that you have, we would love to have you. So, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Make sure that you set aside a weekend and go create a product if you haven't done it yet. This is your hint. It is Tuesday. So,
And
think
tag
about it.
us on social media at the Smart
Yep.
Influencer so that
Yep.
we know what you've been up to and so we can send you a nice applause and a celebration emoji.
And make sure you leave a rating and a review for our show on your favorite podcast player, because that really does help us. And we truly appreciate each and every one of you. If today's episode gave you clarity, direction, or even just one solid aha moment, that's your cue to take action.
Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you found this helpful, please share it with a creator friend who needs to hear it. Smart creators build in communities.
And if you're ready to go deeper, whether that's through our mastermind, live events, or free resources, head to smartinfluencer.com and get on our list.
That's where we share the strategies, tools, and behind the scenes insights we don't always talk about on the podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Now go build something smarter.